Today's May the 9th of 2023. The time is approximately 10:22 a.m. We're now on the record.
And any agreements before I swear in the witness?
No agreements.
All right, Lisa, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Ms. Giroux, can you state your full name for the record?
Lisa Leger GIROT.
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
Lisa Leger GIROT.
Thank you for your time today, Ms. Giroux. I've been saying Giroux.
It's
Thank
okay.
you clarifying that. We have quite a few questions to get through today. I think we can do it in a relatively quick amount of time. And I just want to discuss some preliminary matters before we get started. Can we agree that if I ask you a question and you don't understand the question, you'll let me know?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then just for the sake of the court reporter, can we also agree that we won't talk over each other? So I'll ask a question and then I'll finish and you respond, and vice versa. You respond and I won't interrupt you before I ask my following question.
Yes, ma'am.
And if you need a break at any point, you'll let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are you taking any medications today that might affect your ability to understand any of these questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I want to pull up an exhibit, and my question is going to be, do you recognize this document? We're going to screen share.
Yes, I recognize it.
What is this document?
It's a notice to take a deposition, oral deposition.
And whose deposition?
Lisa GIROT, myself.
Okay. And can you confirm that the date and time on this notice is May 9th, 2023 at 10 a.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
And can you confirm that this, according to the document in the top right corner, this was filed with the court on May 8th, 2023? With the district clerk's office?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Wendy, I'd like to have this admitted as Exhibit 1. Ms. Giroux, what is your place of birth? When were you born?
Sulphur, Louisiana, Calcasieu Parish.
And when were you born?
February 21st, 1958.
And Calcasieu Parish, is that where you're from? Did you
Yes,
grow up?
ma'am.
Are you married?
I am.
Okay. What's your husband's name?
Thomas GIROT.
Okay. How long have you been married?
39 and a half years.
Okay. Is that your only marriage?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How many marriages have you had besides your current marriage?
2.
Okay. Can you walk us through both of those? Who are you married to?
My first marriage was to Dean Burnett.
And when
That
was
lasted 2.
Go ahead. You're going to answer my question. Go ahead.
That lasted 2 years, and that was in approximately 1975.
I didn't hear how many years. You said it lasted how many years?
2 years.
Thank you.
And then who was your second marriage to?
My second marriage was to Arthur Elliott.
And when was that marriage?
I think that was 1978 or 79.
Okay. And how long were you married?
3 years.
What do you do for a living, Ms. GIROT?
I'm retired now, but I was a paralegal to a real estate attorney for 30 years. I retired from him and continued operating my office where I have 36 rental properties that I continue to manage. And I continue to do things that notaries are allowed to do in Louisiana: wills, power of attorneys, cash deeds, small successions, things of that nature.
What is the name of the law firm that you worked at, the real estate, with the real estate attorney?
I worked for Skipper M. Drost. He was a sole practitioner.
Do you have any other training outside of being a paralegal?
Prior to working for Skipper, I worked in banking probably 10 or 12 years
Okay.
as a branch manager.
And where was that?
That was here, well, some of it was in Lake Charles, Louisiana, which is 15 miles down the road, but some of it was in Sulphur, Louisiana.
Which banks did you work at?
Well, I worked for Calcasieu Marine National Bank for a period of time. Then I went to National Bank of Commerce, who was purchased by another bank, but I can't recall the name.
Okay. Is that all of your employment background?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk me through how did you get involved in managing real estate or rental properties, I believe you said?
Well, I owned a few myself, and through my contact with people that I did business with, I was approached by someone to help them manage their properties because their property manager had retired.
Okay.
And so I took him on.
And what, oh, go ahead.
And he owned 26 properties.
What kind of
And
property?
then
Go ahead.
I added a second client that owned 8 properties. These properties would consist of single family dwellings or duplexes.
Okay. And can you tell me again about how many years have you done that?
A minimum of 12.
Okay. And are all of these properties located in Louisiana?
They are all located here in Calcasieu Parish.
Can you walk us through your educational background?
I graduated from high school and I took a 2-year course at Sewella Technical College for accounting. That's the extent of my formal education. I took numerous courses over the years for other things.
What type of other things?
A lot of it had to do with banking in the beginning. Then I took the notary classes to obtain my notary license. That would have been approximately I was around 25 or 26. And then I took continuing education classes through title companies for the work I was doing for Mr. Drost.
Okay. Aside from this present case, have you ever testified at a deposition before?
I testified last year in a deposition for, we own a commercial construction company, and we had performed a job that we were unpaid for, and we had to sue that client. And due to that suit, we had to have some depositions.
Okay. And so you testified as a corporate representative?
Yes.
Okay.
Prior to that, if I may continue,
Go ahead.
we did a deposition of this nature when I filed the probate for Mr. Thibodeau, the attorney representing me at that time did a deposition.
Okay. When you say of this nature, do you mean as a non-party?
As a Zoom. I was a party to it because he had gone to the court to establish who was rightfully able to inherit.
Okay. And we'll get into that in just a little bit, Ms. Girard.
Okay.
Are those, have we discussed all the depositions you've ever testified in?
To the best of my knowledge, yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been outside of the construction lawsuit? Have you ever been a party in any other lawsuits?
That would be affirmative. I mean, I have to file suits to evict people and so forth.
Okay. If you could approximate, how many lawsuits do you think you've been involved in?
In the last 12 years, possibly a dozen.
Okay. And if you have any recollection, before 12 years, we've been in any other lawsuits?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. Did you examine any documents to help prepare for the deposition today?
I did look through the packet that was emailed to me last fall.
And which packet is that?
That would have been the suit. I'm going to move around just a little bit because I'm gonna grab it. I had moved to a different room. It begins with response in opposition to the court setting for hearing and submission. It's about a 50-page packet. It has attachments and addendums.
Okay. Just for the sake of the videographer, Ms. Gerard, can you center your camera so that we can see you?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So is it fair to say the document or the package you're referring to are court filings
That would be correct.
for this instant lawsuit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you review any other documents beyond the court filings?
I looked at some old emails that were exchanged between myself and Mr. Dow and the title company.
Okay.
A lot of documents. So I looked at a lot of tax documents. I think these are copies, but all the filings from when Gwendolyn Thibodeau passed away, the filings from when Louis Thibodeau passed away, I flipped through all of that.
Okay. How did you, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about your relationship with Mr. Louis Thibodeau.
Okay.
How did you come to meet Mr. Thibodeau?
The mayor of the city of Sulphur referred Mr. Thibodeau to me in the capacity that I volunteer for the Sulphur Armed Forces Committee. And when I say that, I volunteer in the capacity of helping veterans file for benefits, give them rides to doctor's appointments, do correspondence for them, perhaps help them get a driver's license, apply for disability, things that you would do for veterans. And he was referred to me by the mayor of the town because he was deaf and it was difficult for people to communicate with him. So he asked if I would have the patience to do so, and I did.
You have a good relationship with the mayor?
I did until he passed away. Yes, and I have a good relationship with our current mayor.
Okay. So when did you first meet Mr. Thibodeau?
This is I'm going to say approximately 2015.
Did you ever meet Gwendolyn Thibodeau?
Gwendolyn was passed when I met Mr. Thibodeau
Okay.
by
Who,
approximately a few years.
who is Gwendolyn Thibodeau?
Mr. Thibodeau's only wife.
Do you know the defendant in this case, Udo Birnbaum?
I've never met Mr. Udo Birnbaum personally. I
Do-
know of him through correspondence and emails.
What, if any, understanding did you have of the relationship between Udo Birnbaum and Louis Thibodeau?
They had been neighbors for many years during Gwendolyn's life. They, I don't know that they formed together, but they maybe had animals that they raised together. I'm not certain of the extent of their agricultural interest, but Mr. Birnbaum lived on this property, and they shared common interests. It was my understanding from Mr. Thibodeau that he was to be allowed to live there, although toward the end of Mr. Thibodeau's life, he went to see him, and he felt that he was living in squalor and wanted to bring him here to live with him because he did not appreciate this conditions of where he was living.
So
And
just
his intention, I'm
thank,
sorry.
thank you, Ms. Girard. Just for contextual purposes, when you say this property, they lived as neighbors on this property, do you mean the 149 acres that's at subject in the instant lawsuit?
That is my understanding.
Okay.
I have never physically been there. So for me to say without hesitation, yes, I can only assume they lived there together. I've never been there. I don't.
I think it cut out toward the end. Can you repeat the last couple of sentences that you said?
I said I've never physically put my eyes on this property. I know that Mr. Thibodeau owned other properties that were contiguous with this property. So to say adamantly that he lived on this exact 150 acres, I cannot say that without hesitation because I don't know where the homes were located.
Okay. But as far as your understanding of their relationship, the relationship rather between Louis and Udo Birnbaum, they were neighbors. That's how they come to that was your understanding? Is at some point?
Yeah.
Okay. And you understand that the property involved in the instant lawsuit is a 149 acre tract, 149 acres that were sold to the plaintiff CSD Van Zant.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. What, if any, understanding did you have of the relationship between Gwendolyn Thibodeau and Udo Birnbaum?
I have no knowledge of their relationship. As I said before, she was deceased when I met Mr. Thibodeau. So the only knowledge I would have would be what Mr. Thibodeau perhaps shared with me.
Okay. Do you recall when Mr. Louis Thibodeau passed away?
I have to look that up. It's been 3 or more years. October 2019.
Okay. Did he pass away with a will?
He did.
I'm gonna pull up an exhibit. Do you recognize this document, Ms. Girard?
I do.
What is it?
It's Mr. Thibodeau's last will and testament.
Do you know who prepared this will?
This was prepared by Donna L. Brown.
Okay. And who is Miss Brown?
Miss Brown was the other two sisters. She was a partner until she retired.
The other two sisters of whom?
Oh, I'm sorry. Our business operated under the name of Two Sisters Enterprises.
Okay.
She was the second sister.
Okay. And when you say our business, is that your business that you conduct right now?
Correct.
Did Mr. Thibodeau leave you anything in this will?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he leave you any real property?
I'm sorry that
Um,
you cut on me.
Did he leave you any real property in this will?
There's no real property defined by its description. The will itself simply says he leaves all my personal movable property, tools, furniture, and such. Above that, I leave all my interest to all of my real property of whatever kind and nature, be it separate or community, consumable or non-consumable, movable, immovable without restriction. He additionally left me interest in all the oil and gas wells they had.
Okay. So referring to that third paragraph that you just read, did you come to learn that he had left you a 149 acre piece of property in Texas?
I did come to learn that. I was aware he owned property in Texas because I had been paying the tax on him.
Okay. Do you know why, or do you have any knowledge as to why Mr. Thibodeau left you his entire estate?
Mr. Thibodeau had no natural children. He had one living sister who was older than him, maybe 90. And that was his instructions. I mean, I tried to encourage him to leave it to anyone else in the world, Boys Village or the church or anything. He was quite adamant.
Okay. And would you consider yourself and Mr. Thibodeau close before he passed?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you probate this will?
I had it probated by an attorney in Lake Charles in Calcasieu Parish, and then I sent it to an attorney in Greenville. I'm trying to remember his name, to probate it there.
Okay. Wendy, I want to admit the will as Exhibit 2.
Okay, thank you.
And then I'm going to pull up another exhibit. You recognize this document, Ms. Girot?
I mean, I want you to look at.
Did you say you need it enlarged a little bit?
I can see it now. Yes, I do recognize this document.
What is this document?
This is the probate that was filed in our state. It was filed in Jefferson Davis Parish first because that was the parish of his death. It was later filed in Calcasieu Parish because that was where he had resided prior to moving to the veterans home.
And when was it admitted to probate?
Filed January 24th, 2020 in Jefferson Davis Parish.
Why did you decide to have his will probated?
There were numerous oil, gas, and mineral leases that had to be transferred for payment to be issued. Additionally, there was the state of Texas filed a suit to acquire some property in Harris County, Texas. And for me to conduct that business, I was advised by our local attorney that I would have to file the probate to move forward.
Okay. To your knowledge, did the defendant, Udo Birnbaum, ever contest the probate of Mr. Thibodeau's will that left you all of his real property?
He did not.
I'm going to admit this exhibit as Exhibit 3, Wendy.
Okay, thank you.
Do you recognize this document, Ms. Girot?
Yes,
What is it?
this is the probate for Gwendolyn Wright Thibodeau because she died intestate.
Were you involved in drafting this document?
No, ma'am. That document was in a briefcase that I had possession of when Mr. Thibodeau passed.
Okay. And in general, can you, I'll give you a minute to look through it if you need to, but can you explain what this document shows?
Uh, to summarize paragraph 1, it states 1 and 2 people that were familiar with Miss Gwendolyn Wright Thibodeau, and it continues to talk about her marital history, the fact that she had no children and didn't adopt children, the fact that she had some natural heirs, which were, it talks about her well, and the siblings they had. It continues to say there were no debts, no unpaid estate or inheritance taxes. It lists property, several properties that she owned, and then it lists her heirs, which were her spouse and her niece and nephew.
Okay. And then referring back to the paragraph 12, do you see in little g where it lists 149 acres?
I do.
Okay. Is it fair to say that that 149 acres is the same property that's involved in the current lawsuit?
Yes, it is.
To your knowledge, did Gwendolyn ever attempt to convey the 149 acres to Udo Birnbaum?
I have no knowledge of that, ma'am.
Prior, or rather, when you inherited the property from Mr. Thibodeau, did you know of the existence of any deeds from Gwendolyn Thibodeau to Udo Birnbaum that have been allegedly executed in 2002?
I had no knowledge. I had no knowledge of that up until this action was started.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to admit this as Exhibit 4, the affidavit, Wendy. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you recognize this document, Ms. Sherrod?
I do.
What is it?
That's the document that was issued by the court. I have to digress a little bit. When I hired the attorney in Greenville to probate the estate, this was part of the proceeding because he felt that part of the estate had not been properly divided. So he went to the court to have a determination made who was entitled to receive what interest.
Okay.
And the judgment is a result of that hearing.
And if you need a minute to read through it, just let me know. But can you explain what this judgment, or rather, who this court declared were the respective heirs of Miss Gwendolyn Thibodeau?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Who were the heirs listed in this order of Gwendolyn Thibodeau?
Louis Thibodeau as 50%, Patricia Moore Barclay as 25%, and James T. Moore, 25%.
And can you confirm this judgment was signed April 13, 2021?
Yes.
I'm going to admit this. Wendy is Exhibit 5.
Okay.
Ms. Sherrod, since the time that Mr. Thibodeau, received title to the property, was he aware that Mr. Birnbaum was living on the property?
Yes.
When you inherited the property from Mr. Thibodeau, were you aware that Mr. Birnbaum was living on the property?
Yes.
Was Mr. Birnbaum living on the property, as far as you know, with the Thibodeau's permission?
Yes. And
once you inherited the property, was he then living on the property with your permission?
Yes.
I'm gonna pull up. Do you recognize this document, Ms. Girard?
Yes.
What is it?
This is a donation from Louis Thibodeau to Udo Birnbaum.
Do you know who prepared this document?
Excuse me. Mr. Birnbaum had someone prepare that document.
Okay. Do you know who?
I do not.
Do you know why it was prepared?
I really don't. They had a very unusual relationship. Mr. Thibodeau didn't want Mr. Birnbaum being put off of the property for his natural life. I can't speak as to their conversations, but this document came out of those conversations.
Did Mr. Thibodeau sign this document in front of you?
Absolutely, yes.
And you notarized it?
I did.
To your knowledge, was it ever delivered to Mr. Birnbaum?
It was sent to Mr. Birnbaum via U.S. mail.
Do you know who sent it?
I sent it out of my business office.
When was it sent to Mr. Birnbaum? If you recall.
I can only assume it would have been within 2 to 3 weeks of the date I notarized it. So that would have been April of 2017.
Do you have any recollection of what happened after this deed was sent to Mr. Birnbaum?
After that, Mr. Thibodeau paid him a couple of visits, and he told Mr. Thibodeau, this is what was exchanged to me. I was not privy to the conversation, that he was not transferring the property. He did not want it in his name, but he wanted to continue to live there. And Mr. Thibodeau was not, I don't want to say comfortable. He really wanted Mr. Birnbaum to come back to the state of Louisiana and live in a home that Mr. Thibodeau had here, live with him, because he felt like the place was in a state of disarray.
And who conveyed these discussions to you?
Louis Thibodeau.
Do you know how Mr. Thibodeau traveled or paid Mr. Birnbaum these visits?
Joey Abshire drove Mr. Thibodeau. Joey Abshire was a gentleman that stayed off and on with Mr. Thibodeau to help take care of him.
Where does Joey live now?
Joey is deceased.
Okay. Do you believe this deed was ever accepted by Mr. Birnbaum, this 2017 deed?
Accepted in the manner that he was receiving title, or accepted physically? I mean,
Accepted in the manner that Mr. Birnbaum accepted title to the property via this transfer, this conveyance.
I do not think he accepted it, because I continued to have to pay the taxes on it.
Do you believe that Mr. Thibodeau had title to the property when he passed away?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'm gonna admit this one, Wendy, as Exhibit 6.
Okay.
This deed, if you can see, it says Udo Birnbaum. If you look in the first paragraph, trustee, if that last sentence, it says Udo Birnbaum, trustee of I believe that says LELD Trust. Do you know what trust this is referring to?
The LELD Trust was a trust established by Mr. Birnbaum sometime in prior years, but he had never completed, to my knowledge. We had a conversation about that. He never completed the setting the trust up, because when this document was sent to me, I inquired to him about his ability to represent the trust. And later, when I was going to probate Mr. Thibodeau's estate, had a conversation with Mr. Birnbaum regarding this document, and telling him he needed to record it if he wanted to take title, so that I would not have to continue with the probate. That he should get his trust in a position to accept title. And Mr. Birnbaum said, I'm not doing any of that. Do what you need to do. So there's an email somewhere that he and I communicated, and it was clear he wasn't moving forward.
Okay. And so is it fair to say that you're not sure whether this is a LELD trust is a valid trust?
That is a fair statement.
I'm going to show you another exhibit. Ms. Girard, this is an email between you and the defendant. I believe this may be the email you were just referring to from 2017. And I'm going to give you a minute to read through it. Do you, and then after you have a chance to read through it, my question is going to be, do you recall this email exchange with Mr. Birnbaum? Just let us know as you need to scroll down.
Okay, you can scroll down. Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Okay. I want to go back really briefly to the 2017 deed we were just talking about. Can you confirm, was that deed, to your knowledge, ever recorded?
Mr. Birnbaum said he would never record it. So to my knowledge, it never was recorded. And I will confirm that with the fact that when the title company did their title search, it was not discovered at that time either.
Okay. And I will just let you know, I mean, this is a matter of public record that with the filing of this lawsuit, Mr. Birnbaum did record this deed in 2022. But to your point, can you tell me when that title search by the title company would have been? The title search you were just referring.
This is just from memory now. The title search began in the spring of 2022. It could have been March or April. I cannot, without going back to look at something, I could not confirm specifically the month, but it seems like it was March or April because that transaction closed in either June or July.
Okay. And the transaction you're referring to is when CSD Van Zandt purchased the 149 acres.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So in this email exchange with Mr. Birnbaum, did you discuss the 2017 deed?
Well, according to this email, we discussed the mineral rights that were retained in the deed.
Okay. Was this the first time you ever corresponded with Mr. Birnbaum?
I couldn't say one way or the other, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to refer you to page 2 of this email. The email dated March 27th, 2017. What is this discussion you're having with Mr. Birnbaum about?
The one that's on my screen now.
Yes.
This was when Mr. Thibodeau had gone to see Mr. Birnbaum, and they talked about the property, the condition of it. They talked about him returning, and short of that, Lewis said, if you're going to stay, then we're going to draw up something so you can stay. And then I had conversation with Mr. Birnbaum, and that's when he indicated he was going to have the, I see it's a warranty deed, not a donation, have that document drafted by someone there and sent to my office.
Go to the April. I'm going to refer you to another portion of this email. This is dated April 3rd, 2017, and I'll give you a minute to look at this. My question is, if you can recall, what happened after you sent this email to Mr. Birnbaum?
Could you repeat your question?
What happened after you sent this email to Mr. Birnbaum?
What happened after that was he advised me to not let Mr. Thibodeau return to the property, that he wasn't leaving, and things, I needed to leave things as they were, which we had conversation regarding the taxes again, because it seems like was around that time I had to prepare some paperwork in regard to a request from the appraisal district. And Mr. Birnbaum didn't want to bother with any of that, but it affected the amount of the taxes that were due. So it was critical in my eyes to keep them as low as possible since I was writing the checks.
And what did you understand it to mean when you say Mr. Birnbaum wanted to leave things as they were?
He did not want to leave the residence and come to Louisiana to stay with Mr. Thibodeau.
Okay. Did you understand that to mean that Mr. Birnbaum didn't want to accept title to the property?
That would be my understanding. He didn't want anything to change.
I want to refer you to an email dated January 22nd, 2020 from you to Mr. Birnbaum. And I'm going to give you a chance to read through that.
I'm familiar with it.
What do you mean when you reference a donation over to Mr. Birnbaum?
Well, I say it was a donation. I understand now it was a warranty deed, but I always assumed it was I say assumed, recalled it to be a donation. It was It was not being sold. It was being given to him.
And what happened after this email?
After that email, I promised to pay the taxes, and then I got sued for non-payment of taxes. And I continued to try to communicate with him. And I mean, there's a subsequent email where he says he's going to get the paperwork together to get it straightened out. But he, in fact, never did anything to get anything straightened out.
And when you say you got sued because of the taxes, do you recall, was that tax suit, was the 149 acres as part of that tax suit?
I honestly do not recall.
Okay. I'm going to refer you to another section of this email exchange dated January 24th, 2020, and I'll give you a minute to look through that.
Okay.
What
Yeah,
did
I'm
you
familiar with.
What did you understand this email to mean from Mr. Birnbaum?
My understanding was there may have been some verbal agreements between these parties, but I took it, the meaning to be that these were some eccentric gentlemen had not taken care of their business, and I wasn't sure who really knew what was going on at that point between the two of them.
Did you have any knowledge as to whether Mr. Thibodeau's, Mr. Birnbaum's refusal to accept the 2017 deed was related to judgments that had been entered into against him?
He did tell me that.
Okay.
If it's not in an email, I learned it from looking at the website, I think it is his website that he refers to.
And the website you're referring to, is at the damncourthousecriminals.com.
Yes, ma'am.
What did you come to learn about the judgments that had been executed against him?
Other than what I read, I did no further research other than what was displayed on his website, which seemed to be the outcome of the rantings of a person that is quite eccentric. I'm trying to be kind.
Did you understand this email to mean that he deeded the property, including the 149 acres, over to Gwen to escape these judgments, having these judgments filed against his property?
Well, he states that somewhere in here. Do I believe that to be true? I don't have a belief about it one way or the other.
Or did you understand or did you interpret this email to mean that?
Yes, he does imply that, and that's the only interpretation I can get.
Do you see in that email exchange, under the section titled background, where Mr. Birnbaum says At the same time, Gwen deeded same back to me, which document I kept private.
I do see that statement.
Okay. Yeah. Did we lose?
Yep.
Can we go off the record?
Off record time approximately 11:19 a.m. We're now back on the record time approximately 11:26 a.m.
And Wendy, I didn't mention, but this email correspondence I want to mark as Exhibit 7. And when we left off, Ms. Girard, we were talking about the email from Mr. Birnbaum, where he states that he kept the document private. Do you see that where he says in 2002, I deeded my property of 4.5 acres, 18 acres, and 149 acres over to Gwen, which document I filed with county records. At the same time, Gwen deeded same back to me, which document I kept private. Do you see that?
I do.
I'm going to pull up another exhibit. This is a document that I represent to you has been produced after the filing of this lawsuit by Mr. Birnbaum, and it appears to be an alleged warranty deed from Gwendolyn Thibodeau to Mr. Birnbaum, dated the year 2002. Are you familiar with this document?
I am not familiar with this document.
Okay. You had no knowledge of this document when you inherited the property, correct?
I had no knowledge whatsoever.
Okay. Wendy, I want to mark this as Exhibit 8.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you consider Mr. Birnbaum's actions after these emails from 2017 as a rejection of the 2017 deed from Mr. Thibodeau to Udo?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to pull up the call, and I'd like to mark it as Exhibit 9. And I'm going to play pieces, portions of this call, Ms. Girot, and ask you some questions. The first portion of the call that I'd like to play is timestamp 9 seconds through 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, did you go to the courthouse and check on the taxes?
You're not coming through real good, but can what?
Did you go to the courthouse and check on the taxes?
The taxes on what?
The taxes on the property.
What property?
Property you live on.
The who?
The property you live on.
Well, okay. Be a little more specific.
Okay, this is Lisa.
Yeah, I know. I think I got a little bad hearing. Yeah, that's Lisa. Go ahead. I hadn't heard from you in some time.
Okay. All right. So I got a letter about the taxes on the property, and you were going to check on them.
Ms. Girard, do you remember making this call?
I do.
Who was the call between?
Myself and Udo Birnbaum.
Do you recall when this call, when you made this call to Udo?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Do you recall why you called Udo?
I called Udo because I received a letter saying I would be sued because the taxes weren't being paid. This would have had to have happened after the warranty deed from Lewis to Mr. Birnbaum. My understanding was he was going to start paying the taxes, but he in fact did not. And I was sued by the county and had to pay those taxes.
Do you recall what properties the suit covered, the tax suit covered?
I do not.
Okay, I'm gonna play you another portion of the call. It's timestamp 28 minutes, 10 seconds through 30 minutes, 4 seconds.
Correct.
Okay. And at some particular point, well, that must have been after you came and helped Mr. Thibodeau, obviously, right? Okay. So in other words, at some particular point, I guess in Lewis trying to transfer or send or gift or whatever, in Lewis was somehow gifting, transferring. We don't need to talk about what it was. What was your understanding of what Lewis was doing at the time you got involved? I think as a notary, and I found out about the first time I found out about you as a notary or Lewis in behalf. I don't know what my question was here right now, but what was your understanding as to what Lewis was doing when you first got involved in transferring or buying or something? What was your understanding of what Lewis's intent was at that time?
He didn't want to pay taxes, so he didn't want the property in his name.
Well,
That was my understanding.
okay, yeah, okay. I wasn't trying to get specific, but you knew that was some sort of go around between me, Gwendolyn, and Lewis sort of hiding my property, right?
That's my understanding.
In fact, I'm talking about, if you call it a scheme over here by base, the scheme was that I would not file the stuff over here. Was that your understanding?
Correct.
So you sort of somehow picked up by osmosis or what you call it, by being close to something. You understood that this was a scheme concocted by Lewis and Gwendolyn and me to hide my property, right?
That's the story I was told.
Is that what you believe? Okay.
What was your understanding, Ms. Girard, of why Mr. Thibodeau was wanting to get rid of the property?
My understanding in regard to the last warranty deed is signed by Louis Thibodeau was he did not want to continue to pay those taxes. It was depleting his income, and he was going to transfer it to Mr. Birnbaum, who would begin paying the taxes.
And what is the scheme that Mr. Birnbaum refers to?
I don't recall that specific conversation, but can only assume the scheme he's talking about is the prior documents that I've never seen until today of them transferring the property back and forth to elude the judgments that had accumulated against him.
Okay. I'm going to play another portion of the call. And this is timestamp 19 minutes, 10 seconds through 21 minutes, 14 seconds.
Not spacemen. So we don't need to get into
Questions, I mean,
for the equivalent of judgment of possession, which I think he has called a decree. We don't need to get into that anymore. Okay, unless you had some questions on that.
I don't have any questions. I mean, I'm clear about what's happened and what needs to happen.
So why do you owe any taxes on my back taxes?
Because the property is in my name. It's no longer in your name.
Yeah, but I don't care about the property at all. Why do I need to pay taxes?
Because the government says if you own property, you must pay taxes on it.
I don't own that property anymore.
Correct.
So
That's correct.
Okay, so hold on. So if anybody wants to collect back taxes on that property on me, I'll wait until they try to collect taxes on me. Maybe I'll be dead by that time.
Okay. So let me just put it like this. I have to pay the taxes. I don't have a choice because they're going to sue me for the money. And so I'm going to pay the taxes. I'm going to put the property up for sale so I can recover my money.
Of course. So what?
Okay. I just wanted you to be aware of it.
I'm aware of it because you sent me a copy with your handwriting on it. I'm aware of it. So what more do I need to do?
Nothing. I guess maybe find a place to live if they sell it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not living on that property, that 18 acres.
Oh, you're living on 149. That's what's going to be sold.
You're going to sell the 149 to pay for my back taxes on the 18?
No, I'm paying taxes on the 149 you live on.
Since when have you paid for that?
3 years. I've been paying for 3 years.
On the 149 and all of it?
So, Ms. Girard, it's fair to say in this call, Mr. Birnbaum acknowledges that he's aware that you're going to sell the 149 acres, correct?
Yes, ma'am. He was aware.
What happened after this call?
I never spoke to him again. I attempted to call him when we got closer to the time the sale was going to be consummated. Pardon me. But I was never able to get him on the phone.
Okay. And in this call, Mr. Birnbaum also says that he doesn't want the property anymore. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to pull up another exhibit. Do you recognize these documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are they?
These are tax bills from Van Zandt Appraisal District. Well, this is one, but there are numerous ones.
And under legal information, can you confirm that the tax statements or tax receipts cover the 149 acres?
It's difficult for me to read this, but I'm looking exactly. Yes, yes.
I'm gonna, Wendy, mark this as a exhibit 10. Ms. Girard, do you recall what years you paid the taxes on the 149 acres?
Off the top of my head, ma'am, I cannot confirm. I would have to go back in my records and try to find that information. I can only believe that this began not long after Mr. Thibodeau came to Sulphur and started seeing me, because I did pay his bills. Sometimes he didn't have enough money. I had to put the money up myself.
Okay. And I'll ask you more generally, because the documents speak for themselves. Is it fair to say that from 2002 through 2021, the Thibodeaus paid the taxes, and
Yes,
and yourself as well, starting in 2020?
yes, ma'am.
And if you know, did CSD Van Zandt, the plaintiff, start paying taxes in 2022?
Yes.
And can you confirm the 18 acres, that's separate from the 149 acres?
Yes.
Let me pull up the, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
How did you, what is this document?
This was the document that conveyed title from myself, Miss Barclay, and Mr. Moore to CSE Van Zandt, an LLC.
How did you come to sell CSD Van Zandt the property?
Oh. I think I received correspondence in the mail regarding an interest in purchasing that property. I did not have the property listed at that time or
Okay.
at any time.
On the call we just heard between you and Mr. Birnbaum, was that the first time that you informed him that you were selling the property?
I think so.
Okay. Do you know Mr. Robert Dow?
I do not know him personally. I know of him through this transaction.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to him?
During the course of this particular transaction, yes, I spoke on him on several occasions.
Did you ever talk to Mr. Dow about Mr. Birnbaum?
Yes.
What did you inform or tell Mr. Dow about Mr. Birnbaum's connection to the subject property?
I'll have to recall. I explained that he had lived on the property for some time. He was a personal friend of Mr. Thibodeau's. And it was my desire for him to be able to continue to live out his life there, if that was a possibility.
Did you at any point ever inform Mr. Dow about the existence of the 2017 deed between Louis Thibodeau and Mr. Birnbaum?
I did.
At what point? Was it prior to the purchase of the property?
Oh, it was prior to the purchase of the property. As a matter of fact, there's an email where I communicated with him that I felt like Mr. Birnbaum was going to try to exercise his right to stay there. And Mr. Dow responded to me in that email, with another reply. I don't have that right at my fingertips, but my understanding was he would assume my position after the closing of dealing with Mr. Birnbaum.
Are you referring to an email that you have before you right now? Can you send us,
did.
are you able to send us the email you're referring to?
I sent it to you first thing this morning.
Okay.
I emailed it to you.
Wendy and
Let me
Doug,
see.
can we go off the record? I'm going to take a break really quickly.
Off record time is approximately 11:47 a.m. We're now back on the record time is approximately 11:51 a.m.
Okay, when we left off, Ms. GIROT, excuse me, we were you had mentioned an email between you and Mr. Dow, where your testimony is that you discussed the deed. I'm gonna pull up that email and give you a chance to read through it.
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Okay. Can you confirm, nowhere in this email does it mention a 2017 deed from Mr. Thibodeau to Mr. Birnbaum, correct?
That is correct.
And so I'm going to ask you the question again. Prior to the sale, prior to closing, did you at any point ever inform Mr. Dow that there was an alleged 2017 deed from Mr. Thibodeau to Mr. Birnbaum?
Yes, I did.
And when you say yes, are you referring to this email?
No, I'm not referring to this email. I scanned numerous excuse me. I scanned numerous documents, that warranty deed being one of them. I will not with all certainty say it was sent to Mr. Dow. It may have been sent to the title company, but I recall having a conversation with Mr. Dow regarding that warranty deed.
Okay. And when was that conversation?
Ma'am, I cannot recall.
Well, this is important, Ms. Giroux, to the claims and defenses that are being alleged in the lawsuit. And I want to get it clear for the record and for the jury or for the court as to whether or not you and Mr. Dow talked about the existence of a deed, a 2017 deed, that attempted to convey title to the property to Mr. Birnbaum in 2017.
I cannot with specificity say when that conversation occurred. It would have occurred after we began speaking of signing that buy-sell agreement.
So is it your testimony that you and Mr. Dow had conversations that Mr. Birnbaum would allege ownership of the 149 acres prior to him closing on the property?
I don't think I would have stated it saying that he would allege ownership. I know that I would have stated that there had been a deed executed, excuse me, that it had never been recorded. That title had never been accepted by him.
So what were the nature of the conversations between you and Mr. Dow surrounding the 2017 deed?
I don't recall the exact nature of the conversation other than I was being forthright and disclosing all I knew about this property to Mr. Dow so that they could make an informed decision about continuing with the sale because there were other heirs involved. It wasn't just myself.
Do you have any written correspondence that you sent to Mr. Dow and or the title company regarding a 2017 deed prior to closing?
I cannot answer that in the affirmative without referring back to the documents I scanned, and I think they were sent to the title company. I would have to go through those documents to see if that was included in there.
Okay. So you can't say with certainty that that 2017 deed sitting here today was sent to the title company prior to closing.
Correct. I would have to look at my fax records.
Okay. And it's really important, like as I said, and so I'm gonna ask you to do that
I
after
will.
the position today. Did you at any point tell Mr. Dow about an alleged 2002 deed from Gwendolyn Thibodeau to Mr. Birnbaum?
I
Prior-
did not, in fact, because I wasn't aware of it.
Did Mr. Birnbaum at any point after you inherited the property claim that he owned the 149 acres?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever communicate to Mr. Dow prior to closing, prior to when CSD purchased the property, that Mr. Birnbaum claimed an ownership in the 149 acres?
No, ma'am.
So what is the context in which the 2017 deed would have come up in discussions between you and Mr. Dow?
The conversation would have been I wanted to have full disclosure of my knowledge. And I was aware of that warranty deed in 2017. I was aware that it had been sent to Mr. Birnbaum and he had never acted upon it.
Okay. And on Mr. Birnbaum's website, the damn courthouse criminals, you're familiar with that website, correct?
I am.
Are you aware that the defendant, Mr. Birnbaum, has made numerous assertions that fraud has been committed against him in an effort to take the 149 acres?
If he's asserting that on his website, I am unaware because I have not looked at that website since the conclusion of this conveyance.
Okay. If I'm going to represent to you that on his website he alleges that fraud has been committed by him, perpetrated against many actors, including yourself, in order to take the 149 acres from him. What is your response to that assertion?
There was never any fraud intended or that had nothing to do with that transaction. The fraud is not something that I do or ever have done.
Okay. We can go off the record.
Off record time is approximately 11:59 a.m. We're now back on the record time. It's approximately 12:08 p.m.
Ms. GIROT, would you agree with me that you only had one actual phone call with Robert Dow?
That's probably correct. I can't recall having more than one.
Okay. I'm gonna play an audio of that phone call, and I'd like it to be admitted as Exhibit 12.
Hello, this is Lisa.
Ms. Giroux. Yes, ma'am. This is Robert Dow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you doing today?
Fabulous. Thank you.
There you go. That's awesome. I just wanted to just ask you a couple questions to see if you could just kind of fill me in a little bit on Mr. Birnbaum. We had a surveyor. The surveyor went out today and he tried to run him off, and I think he held his ground. But I was just kind of curious. You know, we want to get this deal done. I know you guys do too, and so we're just trying to somewhat anticipate, you know, what could happen, what might happen. And I was curious just kind of how much you knew of kind of the history with him and kind of, you know, the relationship with is it Miss Thibodeau? Is that who was Gwendolyn Thibodeau, right?
That was Mr. Yeah, I never knew her. I only
You never
knew
knew her?
Mr.
Okay.
Thibodeau.
Okay.
I
okay.
met him, you know, through unusual circumstances because I serve on the Armed Forces Committee for the city we live in.
Okay.
Mr. Thibodeau was a veteran.
Okay.
And they sent him to me for me to help him do some paperwork. That's how I knew
Okay.
him.
Oh, okay.
He
okay.
moved here after she passed away.
Uh-huh.
And so I never knew her. But,
Okay.
you know, all I know is what he's shared with me over the 4 or 5 years that I helped him.
Uh-huh.
And I had someone look up the deeds back when, just to make sure, you know, that
Right.
what Mr. Thibodeau shared with me was what I knew.
Right. Right.
And he attempted at some point to give the property to Udo,
Uh-huh.
but Udo has over, I don't know, $500,000 in liens against him.
Uh-huh.
And
uh-huh.
Udo said, no, I can't do that, you know.
Right.
So, you know, what happened is Mr. Thibodeau passed away, left everything to me.
Right.
And yeah, I've tried to communicate with Mr. Birnbaum.
Uh-huh.
It is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I gather. Okay. Do you know if, and you may not know because it sounds like you kind of had a look into this for a limited amount of time. Do you have any sense, did they lease the property to him, or do you know how they acquired it?
To
under
my
what
knowledge, there was
circumstance or anything?
there was nothing written. He says
Okay.
that his parents owned this originally. Then he
Mhm.
got in some type of financial situation, and Gwen, whose family owned a considerable sum of property in oil and gas places down in Harris County,
Uh-huh.
gave him money. She got the deed to the property. This is my
Okay.
understanding.
Okay. Okay.
And,
Okay.
and after that, I just know that Udo and Mr. Thibodeau were very like people, similar in their ways, very old-fashioned,
Mhm.
very just set in the ways they were. They
Okay.
farmed. I know they raised peacocks and.
You think on the
other
property or
animals.
elsewhere?
They lived by each other.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
I'm thinking they did this together. But like I said, I've never been there physically.
No, I
know
understand.
that they
Yes, ma'am.
formed somewhat
Uh-huh.
because I'm trying to remember what it was they were trying to. They had been breeding. Maybe it was the peacocks and trying to get this particular bird or
Right.
breed. Anyway, they were deep into the farming world.
Okay.
Whether that have been animals or plants as well.
Right. Right. So it sounds like a pretty cordial relationship one way or another. They were buddies essentially.
They were great friends because
Yeah.
while I was taking care of Mr. Thibodeau, I arranged to have someone drive him to visit Mr. Birnbaum because Mr. Thibodeau was deaf.
Wow. Okay.
So we either had to do everything in writing. He could speak, but he couldn't hear. He had lost his hearing some years back.
Okay.
So Mr. Birnbaum sent me a message and said, tell Lewis to quit calling me because he doesn't know what I'm saying to him, even though
Right.
I had one of those phones that type the words.
Oh,
for
okay.
him.
Interesting.
Yeah, this has been a very interesting thing for sure. So
Right.
he wanted to visit with Udo, so I hired someone. They took him over there. I mean, this was a day thing, and that's about, I don't know, I'm guessing 4.5-hour trip from where we are.
Sure.
The guy drove him over there. They stayed an hour, and they drove right back.
Interesting. Okay.
And Udo said, don't send Lewis back up here. I don't want to talk to him. He can't hear anything. Like, okay.
Thank you very much, right?
Yeah. So this is, and then when I started getting these, Udo had said, I will pay the taxes on the part I live on. Because I'm getting tremendous tax bills from Van Zant and Harris County.
Right.
Mr. Tibbetts
Right.
didn't have any money. I mean, every once in a while he'd get a little royalties, and
Right.
I paid what I could to help him. And so then I got a lien filed because Udo decided he didn't want to pay him anymore. I'm like, well, this is not really how it works for me, because in my world, we pay our bills.
Right. Right.
So after trying to communicate with him regarding that, I just, I faxed him the will. I faxed him the probate.
Right.
I said, my hand has been forced. I have to do this because I cannot continue to take away from my family. I'm 65. My husband's 71. I cannot continue to take away from my family what we've worked all our lives so we can retire.
Right.
So
right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Now we have to do something different.
Okay.
And that's my story. That's where we are. And before
I understand.
this, I had only communicated with the other two people via an attorney on property that the state took down in Harris County.
Okay.
So I wasn't real familiar with them either.
Sure. Okay. So what I'm hearing is, for some amount of time, Mr. Thibodeau or Mr. Birnbaum was paying some portion of the tax. Was he paying all or just a part of the taxes on the property?
Part of them, yeah.
Part of them. Okay. But one way or another, they were thick as thieves back in the day, and
oh, for sure.
And yeah. Okay. So they had some arrangement that was at least among each other very well known and established. Yeah. Okay.
I would say that's the truth.
Yeah. Okay.
And
okay.
I've not tried to hide anything during this, but
right.
I only know what I know.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. Well, and and he's obviously quite an eccentric man, and we're trying to honestly protect us and protect you too. And it's I guess on some levels it's in some respects it's an unfortunate situation that he's in at this point, and we'll see what we can do. But we're certainly not going to be pushed around in the process, and we told you we'd take it on, and so we're going to try to make sure we protect us, and like I said, protect you too, and do it by the book, and get a transaction done. So okay.
Yes, because I would certainly be willing to help him relocate. I mean, have you been to where he is?
Yes, ma'am. It's pretty. He's not subsisting on much at this point. It doesn't seem like.
Thank you. No.
Yeah.
And so I've offered to help him.
Okay.
That is not an option for him, because I'm in his world. I'm a female. Men don't take help from women.
Okay. So he's a misogynist.
So I'm not trying to be unkind. I'm just wanting.
No, I know. A different time, and to some degree.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be rude to me. He's just adamant. You will not help me or tell me where I can go. I said, well, I wasn't trying to tell you where you could go.
Right. And we're gonna do our best to work with him too. We're gonna do our best to work with him too, but we're gonna protect your interests and protect ours, hopefully in the future as well. And so, okay. Well, that's helpful then to hear all that. And I'm trying to think if anything else was on my mind to ask you questions about. Yeah, I looked at his website. He's a character. He's had some.
What?
And it's what's crazy is it's updated as of COVID. So he's some way, shape, or form has done some HTML coding and updated a website in the past couple of years. I mean, it's yeah, it's just a really eccentric situation.
Yes, very much.
But
so.
we kind of assumed with Miss Thibodeau that there had to have been some relationship if he was allowed to kind of knowingly stay on the property, and like I said, we kind of assumed at the very least there was a grass lease or something. But you're saying even more so, they were buddies and lived nearby. And
Oh, they were buddies, and
yeah,
I'm going to go back through the paperwork. I have a briefcase of things that were his that I've not yet shed because I'm still involved in the property, and it may shed some light on it. I know that the place that Lewis and Gwen lived was sold, and it was I don't know that it was contiguous, but it was close. So
yeah, I noticed in the deed to Miss
information.
Yeah, I noticed in the deed to Miss Thibodeau that there was 3 tracts, and one was a 20 acre and maybe one is a 1 acre. I haven't tried to place those, but that would be interesting. Yeah, if you don't mind, I don't want to burden you, but if you flip through there and see anything, and I'll be direct with you, ma'am. What we just have to avoid, honestly, for you as well, for both of us, is any kind of, what I'm hearing is this isn't what happened, but any kind of situation where, he was antagonistic to the Thibodeaus, and they publicly kind of that's what we're trying to avoid. But it sounds like that was far from the case.
That was far from the truth, and I'm sure I have some correspondence between them, or I don't know. Over the years, they were both a little mischievous.
Sure, a little clever and cunning.
Had been arrested, and
Okay.
Anyway. But I'm sure, I think that in there are some documents that may affirm that they, and really knowing only over the phone and the internet, speaking with Mr. Birnbaum, they were fond of each other.
Okay.
They had a friendly relationship, and even with Gwen, and
right.
That's why there was monies exchanged. She helped him out. She had tons of money. She came from an affluent family.
Okay.
And so I don't think that there was ever any animosity.
Okay. Yeah, that's super helpful. Well, yeah, if you don't mind, if you get bored one afternoon, if you flip through and see anything, or sure. I'm even willing to pay for it to come to me, and I can just look at it and send it back to you. Whatever's easier for you.
Listen, I'll scan it in my office and email it to you. So
okay, that would be awesome. Yeah, if you just see anything that kind of, the long story, to be direct, in a worst case scenario,
Absolutely.
and what I'm hearing, this isn't the case. Folks at some point, you're probably familiar, have some degree of an adverse possession claim. But to the extent, two things there's a few things. One is, it sounds like you guys were at least paying a portion, or the Thibodeaus were certainly at least paying a portion. If maybe back in the day, the Thibodeaus were paying all of it, but they were doing business together, knew he lived there, and plus he sold it to them. So that's kind of, you can't really kind of sell it and then say, wait, no, it's still mine. But I'm just trying to, I'm trying to protect against, again, one way or another, you or us, against any claim like that. So to the extent you see anything that kind of enumerates or tells that story of, just the relationship and them doing business together. I don't need everything, but if I'd ask you a favor, if you don't mind, just to keep that stuff for a little while. And again, if you see something interesting, or you think that kind of helps paint that picture
tonight, and just flip through it while I'm sitting on the patio enjoying some barbecue or something. But
that'd be awesome.
Because I have been through it before. Because when I filed the probate, and I can't remember the gentleman's name I hired, and I sure paid him a bunch of money to do that work. But and it was a nice man, a good attorney.
Right.
It was he that brought to my attention that the niece and the nephew were forced heirs. I don't live in Texas. I live in Louisiana.
Right, yes,
and all I've done is title work for 35 years, but in Louisiana.
Right.
And so it's different. And he called me
and
said, they're forced heirs, so you can't be in possession of all of it. We have to go back to the court and have a hearing. Mm-hmm. And so we did a virtual because of COVID.
Okay. Because of COVID, sure.
And that's when they became involved in all of the properties. Those there and the ones in Harris County.
Okay.
Because they were unaware as well.
Right.
So
interesting.
I've spent quite a sum of money, but I will go through these documents and what I
Well, again, I don't want to
believe
burden
to be
you,
relevant.
and I'm happy to do it if you want to send it to me, and I can send it back to you. So whatever works best for you. So I really
Okay.
appreciate your time, and yeah, we'll get it done. And I'm sorry it's taken a little longer than we expected.
Well, it's all
Again,
right. I
Kaylee
don't
was.
want anyone to feel like it's been misrepresented.
No, you're good on that front. I'm sorry that honestly, I hate to blame somebody, but we had an appraiser that just kind of went. I've never had an experience like that in my life. He just went cold on us for 3 weeks, and so we lost some time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we're going to push forward to getting it done, and call me anytime. And like I said, I really appreciate your time and help, and we'll get it closed. Mr. Moore did mention one of the properties in Harris, and I looked at it for a second. It looks like it's wetland property. It's got some pump jacks on it, but it looks like it's coastal wetland area, and it's undivided as well. And so those properties get pretty gnarly. It sounds like you might have some experience with some of that, but
I have.
we're happy.
I have.
Yeah, it gets. We've done some undivided interest, and we come from oil and gas. Of course, this property has nothing to do with oil and gas, but the one here in Van Zant. But these undivided interests, and I hadn't seen it in kind of Central or South Texas. You see it a lot in West Texas, where there's mineral classified lands and things like that. But it's probably. I told him I'd take a look at it, and I still will. But it's probably one of those deals. It's pretty tough to kind of make anything make sense. You know.
Well, and I haven't.
When it gets.
Yeah. I haven't spoken with them about the property in Harris County, although that's coming if I close on this, because to hire an attorney there, he wants a $40,000 retainer because it's considerable properties.
Mm-hmm.
And one is on Galveston Bay. That's the one that they just took, I don't
For
remember,
back taxes
750 acres or no, the state took it to put in a drainage levee or canal or something. And they paid $1 million for it. Listen, it wasn't chump change, but there were 28 or 9 heirs.
Wow.
I want out of that whole deal because that's all industrial. It's occupied by industrial companies.
Right. At some point, there might be
so
reclamation or environmental issues, or
And there's a major highway there, and although I have the largest percentage, it's only 6.25%. Over here, I could do partition by licitation. They either have to buy me out or they have to let me sell it. I don't know what they call it over there, you know.
Right.
But I will move in that direction once I have the funds that I don't have to take out of my retirement account.
Sure. Well, and I can take a look too if you we can have that conversation if you want, just to make you, because you obviously you've got detailed knowledge about all that, and I can't promise we can help, but we've taken on some of these kind of problem properties before and made something out of them, but it might not. Anyway, we can have that conversation, I guess, down there. So, are you you're an attorney, ma'am, or or what's?
No,
what's
I'm a
kind of
paralegal. I worked for the
Okay.
same attorney for 30 years.
Okay. Wow.
And then I retired
Right.
from him and went to work for myself because this is a very small community and everyone knew me.
Sure.
And I've been a notary forever, and then I had rental properties, and so I maintained my office here. I come into the office 3 days a week, and the rest of the time I'm out with the rentals.
Right.
But I still do contract work for that same attorney. So
Interesting. Okay.
we've had a long-term relationship
A long
over the years.
run. Yeah.
We're still doing what we call over here quiet title when you buy a property at a tax sale and you hold it 5
Yes,
years,
ma'am.
and you have to present it to the judge to have him say, amen, it's yours.
Right. Clear
So
time.
I'm still doing that. I'm still doing that kind of work for him. So I do
you're
have
pretty
some knowledge.
you're super versed in this this realm. Yeah. Granted, Louisiana laws are a hair different than Texas, but interesting. Huh. Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Lisa. Thank you very much for your time. And if when you get bored or have a couple minutes, if you see anything interesting, that'd be awesome. And I'll keep keeping you in the loop as we push forward, and we'll get this one closed for you guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great evening. Yes, ma'am.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You, Katrina.
Thank you. Ms. GIROT, would you agree with me that this call took place in May of 2022?
Yes.
And that would have been after you executed the track contract?
I don't remember when we executed the agreement to buy and sell. I truly don't.
Would you agree with me that it was around March of 2022?
So, yes,
Okay. In that call, you say that Mr. Thibodeau attempted to give Mr. Birnbaum the property, correct?
yes,
And you also state in that call that to your knowledge, there's nothing written, correct?
in regard to leases.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't commit that call to memory, but I listened to it.
Thank you for that. Based on the fact that you just listened to it, it's about 18 minutes long, there's no mention throughout that entire call of a 2017 deed, correct?
That is correct.
So I want to ask you again, going back to the 2017 deed and your testimony as to what Mr. Dow knew and when. Prior to closing, the only mention to Mr. Dow with respect to any transactions between Mr. Birnbaum and Mr. Thibodeau is that there was an attempted donation, correct?
Yes,
So to confirm, you informed Mr. Dow that there was an attempted donation between Mr. Thibodeau to Mr. Birnbaum, not a deed.
that is correct.
And I know you worked for several years, decades for a real estate attorney. Can you confirm there was no 2017 deed sent to the title company prior to closing that the title company would have reviewed as part of this transaction?
I do not know that answer at this moment. I will have to review what I faxed to them in the beginning.
Are you aware of what a title policy is?
Yes, I am.
What is a title policy?
Title policy ensures the purchaser that the history of the property has been reviewed as to, I don't know about in Texas. Here, it would be reviewed as to transfers, liens, easements, right of ways, servitudes.
Right. They ensure title to the policy. Who holds record title to the policy, correct?
Yes,
And so is it your testimony that the title company would have received a 2017 deed from you and still issued a title policy to Mr. Dow, ensuring title to the property based on even with the existence of that 2017 deed?
restate that so I can answer clearly.
Sure. Is it your testimony
Hmm.
that the title company would have received that 2017 deed and would have still issued a title policy ensuring title to Mr. Dow, the plaintiff, CSD Van Zant?
I would not think they would.
Did you review the title records, or excuse me, I'll strike that. Did you review all of the documents that were prepared and sent by the title company?
Yes, I did.
In any of those documents, is there a mention of a 2017 deed?
There is not.
I'm going to pull up another document.
And Katrina, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't know if you're going to mark this. We marked the phone call as exhibit 12. So we did skip an exhibit 11.
Exhibit 11, thank you, Wendy, would have been the deed from Lisa GIROT, Mr. Barclay, Miss Barclay, and Mr. Moore to CSD Van Zant.
Okay. We may have talked about it, but just not identified it on the record then. Okay.
Thank
Gotcha.
you. So, Ms. GIROT, do you recognize or do you know what this document is?
I'm familiar with this document. I mean, familiar as best I can recall. I'm reading it right now.
What is this document?
It's an affidavit that I signed. I can't remember who asked me to sign it. I don't think it was the title company. I think it was an attorney.
What's the date on the document?
August. It's either a 5 or a 3, 2022.
Okay, and I'll represent to you that is August 5th of 2020.
Okay.
A little bit better on my screen. I want to scroll up. To this first paragraph, it reads, in March of 2017, Mr. Thibodeau attempted to give the above described property to Mr. Birnbaum, but Mr. Birnbaum refused to accept same property for personal reasons. Do you see where that is stated? Did I read that correctly?
Yes, I see that.
Okay. There's no mention in this affidavit of a 2017 deed, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So is it your testimony that prior to purchasing the property, Mr. Dow had knowledge of the existence of a 2017 deed?
I don't think he was aware of the deed.
Okay.
I always believed it to be a donation. So that is probably where some of this confusion is.
Okay. And for the record, for the court, for the jury, we need to clear up any confusion. The only information that was communicated to Mr. Dow about any sort of transaction between Mr. Louis Thibodeau and Mr. Birnbaum was about an attempted donation, correct?
Yes, yes.
There was no mention prior to closing about the existence of a 2017 deed.
I would not have called it a deed. I didn't retain a copy of that document that was sent to Mr. Birnbaum, but in my mind, it was a donation.
And so there would have been no reason for you to ever mention a deed to Mr. Dow prior to closing.
Correct. I would have mentioned a donation because, like I said, in my mind, that's what we had signed or I had notarized.
Okay. And can you explain, well, let me strike that. It was an attempted donation, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And that's what was communicated to Mr. Dow.
Yes.
Okay. I think we can go off the record.
Off the record time, approximately 12:37 p.m. We're now back on the record time, approximately 12:40 p.m.
I have no further questions.
Off the record time, approximately 12:40 p.m.